So good morning. I think the most important thing in life is to understand where we are. And it's so difficult to understand where we are as Black Americans or African Americans or Americans of descendants of slaves or whatever. We're just an American. There's nothing else behind it. We're born here to this land. And the way I see it, I have no allegiance to any other land simply because even my people that I'm related to, I don't know, and they live in this country, and simply because of what happened during the slave days, Black people could be a cousin or a distant relative, and you wouldn't even know it, because simply they stripped the babies from the parents during that time. And the mere fact that they take no responsibility for the actions that were created under this government that sustained America. And it's still sustaining America because the harvest never stopped. The way I see it is the public school system has become the new harvest, and the new harvest means that it's still happening, meaning that there is no opportunity to learn, basically, for kids who are being socially promoted, and we're paying people to have this service happen. I mean, because quite frankly, education is mandatory in every state, in all of the 50 states or 51 states or how many states they are now, including Hawaii, Alaska, and the other, outlying territories. We have more. But for the more, little is done. And just like in Puerto Rico right now, they're out there drilling for oil, I understand. I've heard a video about them drilling for oil, which is causing more earthquakes and more instability. And, they're not helping those people in Puerto Rico recover from um, the tragic, weather events. So we, the people, must decide that we're relevant. People my age, I know that I participated in all kind of community organizations, just the way America's established. You join a community group and you help to try to address local issues. Here, you join the community group and you can see that it's so ineffective because the public service sector is just broken. Otherwise, they wouldn't have so many homeless people living on the street, and the inability to transition out of poverty is real because even poor people are making such low wages that, barely making it from paycheck to paycheck. And that's the reality. And now the truth has really been revealed, because if you encounter anything to be revealed, it's what's been done in the dark has now been brought to the light. And as far as we, the people, meaning people who look like me, and I don't have any school-aged children, so I'm just blessed. I already went through all that. But there are so many people that do have school-aged children that never even thought about education the way it really is, because it really is something different, something unique, something you never ever thought about. And they can engage parents in so many different ways, because children learn so many different ways. But you have to learn a task to move on. And the policies that were established for so long required an engagement of the community in which the service was being provided. I just find it so unfortunate that it's really not working and the system is broken. And so under this act of humanity, because the virus is making everybody humane, because they just can't let people walk around sick passing the virus. And they need to have a place to shelter in if they're sick, and they have to be given health care. And just think about all the number of people dying in one day, 700 people in one hospital. It must have been crazy. But we're living in crazy days, and we can just shut all that out. You don't even have to think about it because it ain't you. That's the thought behind the rallies. They want to go back to work. And I think when I was raising my sons, I wanted to go back to work too, but they had deemed that I was already disabled. So why not be disabled? Disabled physically, yes. Mentally, hell no. But they weren't trying to create a job for me to do mentally. So, you create your own niche. This is my niche because I was allowed and given time and opportunity to engage in the public community and public policy. Think about people who live all their lives just working every day, and life just is going on around them. But then they have to access those resources that they're paying to have happen because everybody pays taxes. And now we can all see that in certain communities all across this nation, the federal allocations to support the community wasn't supporting the community at all. Not at all. Frightening that so many children were allowed to just be promoted. And you know, the reality is we have to have a maintenance effort as a people. We must figure out how we communicate among each other. You know, they have a Black superintendent in the state of California now. I think I shared that video. He has lots of hope. And as being a spiritual child, I have hope too. I hope that people are able to step up and be held responsible and accountable for what they're doing to the people who have no knowledge that they even had an entitlement. It's real. So Head Start is real. Early Start is real. And let's just take a look. I'm going to share the screen. Let's take a look at the Nevada Comprehensive Educational Plan and what they said would happen, shall we? Because it's interesting. I want to know if you actually see these things happening, if you've been engaged in the educational system. And if not, if you can understand the data is changing right now, but understand since we are on lockdown, the maintenance of effort has changed. So we have to see how they're going to be inclusive of everyone. And this might be the first time in your life that you're able to analyze where your child is receiving from public services and demand some level of accountability. All right, I'm going to share the screen. This one. Let's share it. Okay, Nevada's 2019 Comprehensive Support and Improvement in Schools. Now see, that's what I've been asking all along, but I can't seem to get an answer. The schools listed below have met the designation criteria for comprehensive support improvement, CIS, under the Nevada's federally approved Every Student Succeed Act under the, ESSA plan. That was the Barack Obama plan. People who really didn't even know, really probably never even keyed into what was supposed to be happening, but definitely it happened. And anyways, eligibility categories, because this means that more money is going to be coming to these institutions with the higher population of children who were disabled or needed additional support. And that's how the federal allocations are allocated, actually, legally. Unfortunately, not here in Nevada. They do some other kind of weighted formula where they determine the weight of all children. And then they were fighting to see how they could save small rural schools because those schools may have less than 7 students. Well, I better read on. Are the lowest, the schools, this is the criteria, are the lowest 5th percentile on schools based of their index score by school level on the Nevada Performance Framework. Receive a 1-star rating in the Nevada Performance Framework. Our high schools with graduation rates below 67%. So you gotta know, it drops way down there. And anyways, it goes on and it says, here are the schools. Look. So these are all the schools in Clark County that are Title I and that are rated 1. Look at all the schools that are just rated the 1 for the extra money. Okay, there's a few that are not, but most of them are. And then they have the scores and the 4-year graduation rates. Oh, look, there's only a few of them that have. Look, 53.8. Okay, oh, this one, Pioneer High School, must be a great school. They have 80% graduation rate. But all these other people, it's too small to measure, but people are getting paid there. And then they have which ones are not rated yet, and then their index scores, and then they're not providing the graduation rates. Okay, let's see. What else do they have? They have other information. And we just go down what information they think is relevant because, you know, they're really not telling you anything about what they're doing with the money. These are just the ratings of the schools and how much money they will receive. Keep on going down. Okay, is this the last page? Oh, it's the last page. Does it tell you information? Yes, the last page tells you a little bit of something. Let me shrink them in. And it says, the schools, districts of identified schools, charter schools are sponsored by the State Public Charter School Authority. Now, I don't know who they are, but you know, a lot of those alternative programs are like charter schools here. They're rated like charter schools, and parents actually are seeking to get in those programs because, you know, it's difficult. I mean, the kids aren't being successful anywhere, at least children of color, and that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to shrink this one. Let's see, I'm going to stop the share like this one. Stop the share. Now I'm going to share another screen because that's how you have to do it. And share again in this one. Okay. Did it open? I didn't share it yet. Let's see. I have to move this, shrink this. This is where I'm sharing, I'm sure. Because that's what I started sharing. That's what I went and picked. But unless I shrunk the other window, I couldn't see it. Now, breaking up is hard to do. Breaking up is hard to do. I guess we should think about that, right? When they're talking about reorganization. Because really, that was beginning to happen, but it really hadn't happened at all. So Nevada has embarked on a process to reorganize the Clark County School District by beginning in 2018-2019 school year. In the 2015 Nevada election, the legislature adopted AB 394, which creates an advisory committee and technical advisory committee to develop a plan to reorganize CCSD into precincts. The plan must be complete on or before January 1st, 2017, and I'm not sure if it happened, but it was supposed to be talking about improving responsiveness to local issues, improving student achievement, and improving efficiency. And anyways, this is where their findings were. Community-based communication and information. The advisory committee has not publicly outlined its strategy for gathering information from the public, but the local needs to determine the differences needed by precinct. The advisory committee has not publicly aligned a strategy. I mean, okay, this doesn't say any work is being done. Let's scroll down some more. CCSD students currently face significant levels of desegregation. I never turned that thing off, but anyways, you just have to understand. They have magnet schools and they're priority schools in Clark County, but the children who are in need of the services are just not there in those programs, and that's just real. And so the maintenance of effort I've been trying to figure out for a long time. I wanted to know exactly what they were doing to move children from grade level to grade level, because I can see in California that just didn't happen either. And my biggest problem is that when they say they're going to do this work and they have no evidence of the work being done, you know, they're just depending on the flexibilities of education and the waiver. But we, the people, really need to figure that out, you know? What we need to figure out, truly, I'm going to stop the share, because, you know, this is online. It's a policy report. It was done in 2015, and that's actually when they went local control, because local control means that locally they were going to govern, and they were going to elect board members by area, and those board members would represent the local community and ensure that that the children were being supported. But as you see, I did a video yesterday in which the board decided to rescind the responsibility to govern the superintendent based on the outcomes of the students. That means that nobody's doing any work still. And I mean that, nobody. So stop this year, because I just kind of like get frustrated because I look to see what they said that they were going to do. And then I listen to see what they say they're doing. And guess what? They're not doing anything. This is like Black people always apologizing for their children not living up to basic level standards. But understand me, unless you're the parent and you're ensuring that access happens, because we're only talking about access and follow through and task completion, it's something that's not happening. And it's just not happening just for Black people. This is not an issue of race. This is an issue of wealth and affluency. You know, like that one kid in Texas that got off after he killed that whole family by DUI drinking. And the judge didn't want to sentence him because he said he suffered from affluency. And I said, wow, I didn't know affluency was a legal term to claim protection under the law. Look at this. Oh my goodness, we should go up so we can see, because we're in the negative. We're so in the negative below. That means we're not even ranking. This is positive correlations between the percentage of white and Asian students and their academic indicators, indicating that the schools with more whites and Asians tend to have higher graduation rates. I mean, but didn't we already go through this with Plessy versus Ferguson and Brown versus the Board of Education, and all of those things said, okay, this is America, and we're just gonna educate American children. By golly, I think we can have that happening. You understand what I'm saying? And every child can learn. But for whatever reason, some of them children, well, you can't tolerate them. Just can't. And then you have to ask yourself, what are they really saying? And I'll tell you what they're saying. They're saying that culturally, they don't jive with you. They don't know nothing about you people and your people, nor do they want to. And quite frankly, do they have to? Because just because we have compulsory laws in education in America doesn't mean we have to follow the rules. Who said we did? Who, please, who, tell me, said we had to follow some type of rules? Rules just don't exist. They really don't exist when you can have a constitution which guarantees you certain rights, inalienable rights, and then people can violate them, but then you have to go to a judiciary to have a judge acknowledge, yes, your rights were violated. How is it that we just accepted so many children who don't have a transition to next steps after they've been in public school system for more than 12 years? Where was the accountability? What are we really being forced to pay for under taxation in America? Because all people, if they work, they're going to pay some taxes. And if they're not paying taxes, guess what? You're getting some public services happening to you, and you're helping to support the system, because the system will survive. It's called sustainability, and it's looking at the outcomes in the future. And as long as we have resources that are generating income, we have it. But you can understand just how broken the country is when we had so many homeless people freezing on the streets, as a matter of fact, in the wintertime. And we as civic engaged minded people weren't advocating to ensure that next steps happen for people who kind of got down on their luck. There's no process established to ensure that transition, that you can use a system to kind of like step yourself up, help you get up, not keep you down there, but help you gain, be prosperity. Prosperity is real. And God is good, because you have to know if it's God or Allah, whoever you want to say you believe in. I know it's not us, and I know we ain't running nothing. I know I don't run anything. I'm not in control of certain things. I'm just not in control of. And I did give my son some basic skills. I advocated as much as I could for them so that they would have basic level skills. But then I meet people every day who don't know how to download a PDF or do a file on the computer, or save a file, or transfer a file, or upload a video, or hey, there's so many things you can do on the internet. You could write a book. You could do a lot of things. And I've been writing for so long. I started writing going through the election of Barack Obama, and I have in my notes on Facebook which maybe that's what I'll do. I'll take my notes and transition them and make a book out of them, because I was writing so much. I was just expressing how I felt every day about something new. And now I can express every day how I feel about something new going on, because what's new? New is a broken system, and it was broken. And so, we can hear every day about Trump, or the President of the United States, the Honorable President Donald Trump. But guess what, my people? He woke your ass up. Yes, he did. I mean, maybe you were sleeping, but guess what? When Donald Trump got in office, we all recognized it. Perhaps we need to exercise our First Amendment rights and step up our game, because this is our lane. So I'm asking and encouraging everyone to get in the lane of public education and the Every Child Succeed Act. And there are resources online that, if you've not been contacted by your local school district, there are online programs. Let me see if I share the screen one more time. I don't think I can. I don't believe that I went anywhere that I can share, so I'll have to turn this off. I'll do another video later on today about the Khan Academy and about, the online schools programs that I've come across. Not that I ever had to utilize them, but when the world changes, you kind of like just have to get in that lane and get on the freeway anyway, because the express lane is not going to stop. It's going to continue to go and leave you behind. And people don't have a problem with leaving people behind, because they have resources that you can depend on. But that's it. Pretty soon, we can't count on all those resources being there. They're saying that Social Security is going to run out of money, which I doubt, because I know that too many people died that didn't get to draw that money out. And now that money just sits in Social Security. So let's not talk about how the pandemic is going to not help us, okay? It's a horrible thought, but, it's taking away so many elderly people who are probably paid into the system and then are not going to be under burden on the system anymore, because just it ain't there. So all these people who want to demand their rights and get out there and protest and not acknowledge that this act was a worldwide act and it happened for a reason. And that's just real. So can we wake up today and protect our own and plan for the future? Find a program that's going to work for you and your children. Understand that you have a personal responsibility to figure this out, because it wasn't working before the pandemic. What makes you think it's going to work now? And that's what I got to say. I mean, we can keep on talking about who is your leader. And I don't think God assigned me one when I was born. I know he didn't. And, leadership comes from the ability to step out there and grab a hold of the process and engage in it. Step up your game. No one is going to deem me as being the one, and I really don't care. What I do know is, guess what? My sons graduated from high school above proficient. And that's base level. They graduated above that, but not that that educational system was even anything that would have sustained them. They got their values and a lot of their knowledge from me, because I was the one that had to share it. And, there's something to being a single parent, and there's something to being a Black man who refuses to step up his game, who can lay down with any woman and create 20 babies or so, and then have no obligation to not one soul. Help me, Lord. But I can tell you, as a single parent and as a woman who understood the value of foundation, that just because I chose wrong didn't mean that it wasn't intentional, that I got with whoever I got with to make the little unique individual that I had, and that my sons are all gifted and very intelligent, just as I am. So I think God is just, he sees the garden, and we reap the benefits, because in the history of America, most intelligent Black men who were out there and disciplined and forcing themselves to move ahead were raised by single women who were determined to not fail. See, I'm determined. I'm not going to fail. And so moving forward, walking through breast cancer and understanding that it's in you, and whatever's in you, you need to take care of your body and eat right and try not to bring all those negative things into your system that your body can't get rid of. Drink lots of water. If you've gotten to the point where you've already messed your system up, do the right thing and try to correct your own behavior, because it's only you. It's kind of like I quit smoking, but I smoked for 30 years. It seemed like it was something that I enjoyed doing, and it was something that no one could tell me when I couldn't smoke, or I was controlling that. But guess what? I was also killing myself in the long run. So it's been at least 10 years that I've been nicotine free. But thank God I found Mama Earth in Nevada, because, you know, they got weed maps and all kind of the source and all kind of agencies and help with your internal healing. And that's not the other, you know, was Norcos. They were trying to prescribe 180 pills every time I went to the doctors, because the pain is real. It doesn't go away. But it seems that the CBD and the natural remedies seem to work and ease some of the tension that happens in the world, I guess, with your body. It doesn't really matter. 420 happened, and I'm right along with that 420 group. Life is changing, and I think the president of the United States just may legalize marijuana nationwide so he could get reelected. He's willing to do anything, and that anything, some of that anything is going to help the people, because people will be able to make money out of a resource that's naturally grown, and you don't have to have, you know, permission to cultivate it. I mean, you have to participate in the process because they've already aligned the rules around this shit. And so step your game up. Participate in the game and understand that you cannot continue to choose to live in a system in which you pay a ranked number of tax money, especially especially our entertainers. Let's not pretend that they ain't paying a guap on on the taxes, on the federal taxes and the state taxes. They got to pay the taxes. You make the money, you're going to pay. And then you're going to talk about tax time and its effect on you. But what you don't talk about, my people, is the effect of the taxes coming back to the local economy and the public policy designed to implement the services for people who look like you. It's just such an unfortunate thing. It's unfortunate that we came to the game and people get to choose who's going to be on the team, see? And the people who are choosing to be on the team, well, hell, we didn't naturally put them there. No, the ones we naturally put there, like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evans, and you could just name the ones that God put in the universe, and then you can look clearly and see the ones that were appointed by the serpent. Should I say more? It ain't happening for us, because guess what? It's not important that everybody share in the maintenance of effort of the public service sector. I mean, everybody's not entitled to the benefit, I guess. But the benefit does exist. I'm going to tell you, there's no way that I can share with you the importance of us all working together as people in unison to ensure that access happens for people who look like us. When I wake up in the mirror in the morning, I'm looking to see me, truly. And I know you're looking to see you, but irrelevance is that if you want to work in the public sector, let's be able to measure the maintenance of effort of what you're doing in your job. Let's not allow you to get out here and jeopardize everyone's health because you ain't getting your free check no more. Hell. And you were so concerned about everybody else getting that free check. You know, the welfare check that you work around preparing for everybody. You know, that job you have. Most people have jobs. They're providing public services to people in the public with the allocation of resources that's either generated by the state or generated by the county or generated by the federal government to ensure that access happens for you. And then, of course, we have so many gifted Black performers. So no, they are paying their fair share of taxes. Or like Jill Scott? She says, watching me. Hey, and I think somebody's watching me. And it's just real. So, you know, we need to get, like Nipsey was saying, we need to, what is it? He was the Old Town Road song. Take my horse to an old town road. I'm gonna ride until I can't no more. He says, we need to have a lawsuit. We need to talk about what's not happening for ADOS, basically. And we need to pay attention because people spend a lot of time trying to figure out how not to let you make a dollar or how to monitor your dollar and your allocation, but they can do anything they want to you in the world. They can take your life if you fail to comply. I'm not sure where we're going with this, but I do know that there's so much that I'm incarcerated just like everybody else. And I got to talk about what I see because I was fortunate to participate in the game where I didn't see that many people. And I can see the ones who are participating in the unique public policy arena are able to get a few pennies for themselves. Let's not pretend that Barry Ackes is out there, Mama Earth, or Dale Roberts and the Roberts Family Development Center. Okay, he's participating to a level, but not to a level that where he didn't understand that he got in a situation where they could hurt him. And like I said, if you don't play by the rules, by their rules, they let you get away with stuff so that they can take you out because you become under the thumb. So I say, understand what the rules are, live by the rules, help change the rules if they're affecting you in a negative way. But first we have to know that it's not helping. That it's not helping. I remember when my son was in third grade and my God, he was just so unhappy. And this is my middle child. And, he was saying, oh, if I could, I just kill myself. And I'm saying, well, what is going on? Just tell me, honey. And he says, you don't know. You don't understand. I didn't understand. So my sister said, well, Darlene, you better get in there. Find out what's happening with your kid. That's more. School is more than that. Just more than sending them to school. And I heard that every day because I was working and I was tired. I work all goddamn day and still have to come home and do this. And my cousin said that shit to me this morning. Shit, it's hard, but guess what? The gift of life is hard. It's not supposed to be easy. So we do have to step up our game and be in our lane. And no matter what my responsibilities are to my family, I'm going to meet those responsibilities because guess what? The door is going to be open for me to meet that basic responsibility as long as I'm committed to follow through. So I am committed to follow through. I'm hoping that, I'm recording right now and I'm going to upload when I get in the house because it's difficult to see just who's paying attention because they don't show you anymore. But it really doesn't matter because what I'm saying is relevant. And, I wouldn't be able to share with you if I had not gone through this experience and been willing to understand the trials and tribulations in life and move forward on a foundation because my children are foundational. Even my youngest one, who we had to wait until he was 18 and graduated high school for his father to want to meet him, to accept his personal responsibility that, he was out there fucking around and had a wife and considered her the wife. But hell, she was just as much involved in the game. And women, let me tell you, there's some trifling people out there who will send their man out there to get with your ass so that they could get a few more dollars. And as if that money meant something, that money didn't mean shit. Money doesn't mean what it means. Just because somebody helped buy you a tire or, helped you out doesn't mean they're trying to be your sugar mama. But I had a job. And I was always able to be supportive of my family, even though my ex-husband, I married a man that hit me. And not only did he hit me, he came with a boot to my face. And so I was never going to go back with him. And that's just real. And, but all the women that he was with after me, he never put their hands on them. But he was just a freak. He had been messed over as a child. And, when children get abused as children, they can't let go of that. You know what I'm saying? And he had a definite hang up on sex. And it was a mental issue. But he could dream about me walking to the grocery store and meeting up with somebody, and I just have the two kids with the grocery store, walking to the base from, because we live in a base housing outside of the base, but it wasn't that far. And every day when I get ready to want to have something special for dinner, I would walk to the commissary. But oh, lo and behold, I'd say, oh, here's my husband. Great, thank you. I don't have to struggle with the children anymore. And guess what? He would think when I was out there doing something else, that was some crazy thinking. But people are crazy. They live in their own heads. You got me? And so, but you have to live in your head, and you have to have a certain about who you are. Love and value yourself. Don't put yourself through more heartache than you need to. Love yourself and save yourself. That's what I'll say. Because nobody can treat you better than you. Amen to that. So, anyways, I'm going to go, but I'm going to keep this up as much as I can, because until we create this conversation about us having the right to assess and understand where our children are and the next steps of life, because we made them. Now we need to be celebrating a part of the harvest, but we need to ensure that they're making a benefit, because freedom is never free. And the public school system is just another area of the plantation if we can't control the harvest. So I'm signing off for now. I'm sure it's time for me to get in there and cook my mother's breakfast, because she doesn't get up until noon. But until later on, I'm signing off for now. This is Darlene Anderson signing out, and I hope you catch me on YouTube, Instagram, and I am on Facebook. But it's Darlene Billups Anderson. I'll see you then.